So the trip is a 4-day, we call it a cultural immersion experience because it's very concentrated, and so I mean it's really happening very fast. We drive down on a Friday. We're there Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, and then Monday morning we kind of hop back in the van and go back. And so so it's very intense. It's like very programmed. There's lots of different things that we're trying to kind of pack into the trip. Lots of different experiences. And in terms of it being about cultural immersion, I mean that's really the major point of why we do it is really to provide students with as many kind of real life, kind of hands-on or face-to-face kinds of experiences with people, with places, with environments, in a way that you can't just get it just kind of talking about it or listening to it or watching videos in a classroom. And so it really is a way for students to kind of really immerse themselves, even if just for a very short time, in that place and in amongst those people.
Particularly for ARCA students, because Appalachia is a place where life, work, art are integrated in very important ways. I mean, you just take something like a quilt. It's practical, it's made by community, it can be a piece of artwork, it can be handed down for generations. And that's what we're about in ARCA. We're about the presence of the past. Here's the quilt. We're about community. Here's the quilting bee. We're about art, which is the making of the quilt. And we're about the practical uses of art, which is that the quilt keeps you warm. You get the line, I get the cold, baby. You get the line, I get the cold. Down to the crowd at honey.
Coal as a kind of energy source has become this very political, polarized thing where you either see it as this just this terrible thing that's like poorly regulated and terrible for the environment, or you see it as this thing that is the kind of economic lifeblood of a particular community. But what is missing from kind of both of those depictions is really just, again, like individual people who actually do this, who actually work in coal mines. Like, why do they do it? Like, why is it? What's their take on it? Because they're not doing it. They're not necessarily doing it because of it's the economic lifeblood of our community. They have some really kind of deep emotional connections to coal that go back, generations in their own families, and it's hard to really kind of understand that even just reading about it. I mean, or singing about it, or hearing about it. I mean, you just got to meet people, and just experience how they talk about it and how they how they feel it, how they feel their connection to coal and to the industry and to the environment.
You're reading, say, about the coal mining, and then you actually go in a mine. It's totally different because it's like you read these close spaces and it's dark and they've only got, the candle or whatever, and then you're in the mine and you've got the entire weight of a mountain on top of you.
They took coal out here for 20 years. Shut this mine down in 1910. Now, with hand tools, no machinery, what they had was a pick, shovel. They would drill it, blast it, load it, and they went 5 to 7 miles underground. You see these tunnels back here. They go in, they branch off, they go different directions. So you could travel all under City of Beckley through these tunnels. And that's a long way to go, ain't it? With hand tools, no machinery. They go on their hands and knees. See right there is coal seams. 30 to 40 inches of coal, so you'd be on your hands and knees 8 to 10 hours a day.
If you are a spiritual person, there is something about mountains. And so I like to take students into the mountains because I want to see if they feel that way about mountains, if they feel the beauty and can experience the beauty I have. But I also want to, because we are in flat Michigan, which could be flat Kansas, right here, I want to take them to a place that's different. And some of them may never have been in a landscape like that. And I enjoy them looking at New River Gorge and saying, wow.
So that quiet moment on the trip when it was just settling into the land around you and then realizing that you're not separate from it was very deeply touching for me. Yes. The rest of it was all glorious. The music and the visiting the mine and the visiting the whole tipple and all of that was fantastic. But I think it was the quiet space that was the most important for me down there.
Hallelujah,